Hey guys, welcome back to Foundation Friday. Today I am going to be using the Styli-Style Beautifully Balanced Foundation. You guys have heard me talk a lot about this foundation on Instagram. It was in my 2016 favorites, so it's about time I did a video exclusively about this foundation. This is a really nice foundation. I'd say it's medium coverage, but it is buildable. So just like with all my other Foundation Friday videos, I do one half of my face with a brush and then the other half with a makeup sponge, and then check-ins throughout the day. That way you guys can see how this wears on my skin over time and get my takes and my feedback on it throughout the day. So a little bit about this foundation. It is hypoallergenic, and they say it gives you a flawless complexion with silky smooth finish. So I've used this quite a lot. I think I first got this, I got it at BeautyCon in July, and so I've been using it for a few months. So one, it's about time I did a video on it. Two, I can say that it is a very nice foundation. My skin feels very soft after I used it, kind of like I've had a good moisturizer on underneath it all day. So I'm just gonna get right into the application. I will see you guys later when I do check-ins throughout the day. I'm going to start by applying the 100% Pure Luminous Primer all over my face. And I am self-tanned right now, and my hands turned out a little bit funky because the weather here has been really cold, so my hands have gotten really dry. So sorry about that. I'm just gonna mention that now. Now I'm going to go in with the Styli-Style Beautifully Balanced Foundation. This is in the shade Cool Beige. It might be a little bit light for me right now since I am self-tanned, but the formula is going to be the same no matter the shade, so I really wanted to show you guys this. I'll probably need to order these in some different colors. And I'm just gonna start with a single pump. I'm going to start by applying this to the side of my face that I will be using the brush on first. And for the brush today, I'm going to be using the MOTD Beauty and the Base brush. I've been trying to use the same brush and the same makeup sponge in most of these videos because I think that will give you guys a better idea of what the foundation looks like, how it applies. Because of that, I've also been trying to use the same primer and the same concealer too. That way you guys have fewer factors to think about when we're looking at how this foundation wears. I'm gonna go ahead and buff that out with this brush. Gonna get a little more foundation. I still have some left from that first pump that I did, but I'm gonna go ahead and do another pump and then apply the product on this side of my face using the Beauty Blender Pro. And you can see the coverage is really nice. It looks very natural, but it does have decent coverage. I'd say this is a good medium coverage foundation. It's definitely buildable, so if you wanted to apply more, it could become a full coverage as well. And you'll see that on this side where I used the Beauty Blender, it applied really evenly too. Again, it just looks very smooth, very natural. So I'm gonna look in a mirror closer up and see if I can see a difference between the two sides. So I honestly cannot tell a difference between the two sides at all. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and finish this up using the MOTD Beauty and the Base brush. I'm gonna apply a little more product here where I tend to like a little bit more coverage, and then just go over the entire thing once more with the brush to smooth it out. And I'm just applying about a half pump more product. I'm going to hydrate my lips today using the Tatcha Camellia Lip Balm. This stuff is really nice. I use it a lot as a nighttime treatment. My lips are feeling pretty dry because, again, it's so cold out that my skin has been really dry lately. So I'm just gonna pop this on right now so my lips are primed for later. And as I mentioned, I am going to continue to use the same concealer. I think I've used this in all the videos in this series so far, and it's the second skin concealer from 100% Pure. I think I'm just gonna go in with White Peach. And I'm going to apply that under my eyes as well as to the areas of my face that I want to highlight. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out using the Beauty Blender Pro. And one thing that I really like about this concealer is it has a very fluid consistency. It feels very nice on the skin, but they do kind of have peachy tones to them, so it does a really great job of canceling out any under eye darkness. I'm gonna go ahead and set my foundation, and today I'm using the brand new Perfect Setting Powder from Cover FX. They recently sent me the light and the dark shade, so I think I'm gonna use the light to set my makeup, and I might go in with the dark as bronzer. One thing that I really like about the packaging of this powder is it has this little protector on it so it doesn't make a giant mess. That's really good for travel if you have a lot of makeup and you kind of just throw things around. Just is nice to have something that's mess free. I really wish more companies did these little covers. And I'm not going to contour today with the usual contour powder. I'm going to start with the Kissed Bronzer from Au Naturel. This shade is a very, very lovely bronzer. It's a little more on the lighter side and it is a little bit cool tone, so I find that it works really great as a contour shade while still giving your skin that glow of a bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this first, and if I need to darken it up, I'll do that with the Cover FX powder. And I think I am going to deepen that just a touch, so I'll be using a little bit of the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in Dark. This is a really lovely color, and both these powders are translucent, so that gives you a nice sheer wash. Moving on to cheeks, I am going to be using the Styli-Style Lust for Blush palette. I picked this up from them when I bought some of their eyeshadow palettes. I just thought it was really awesome that they have 6 blushes in here. They're all very different shades from one another. So I think this is a really cool way to try something new or get some new blushes that you wouldn't normally pick out. Some of these shades, like Secret Garden, for example, I probably wouldn't have bought on its own, but it's nice to get it in a palette because then I can try it. I think today I'm going to go in with the shade Barely There and apply that to my cheekbone. And for highlight, I'm going to be using one of the new Makeup Geek highlighters. This is in the shade Luster, which is this really, really pretty shade. It looks very kind of tan and rosy in the pan, but once it's on, it's a very pretty, like champagne type color. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that to the high points of my face. Oh man, can you guys see that? This stuff is very pigmented. And then I'm going to be using the Styli-Style Go-To Gloss in the shade Peach Out. I've been wearing this a ton lately, and I just think it's a really pretty shade, and I love the formula of their glosses. So now that all my face products are on, I'm going to do another check-in and just let you guys know how this foundation is working with the face products. I think it looks really nice. It's not settling into my pores. It's not accentuating any fine lines. It's not looking cakey or dry. It looks really smooth and really, really even. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. I'll be using the Styli-Style Precious Metals palette, and I'm actually going to be doing this in a separate video. So if that video is out before this one, I'll be sure to link it down below. If it's not, just keep an eye out for it. This is just a really pretty metallic palette, so I really wanted to use it. So I'm gonna finish that up, and then I will pop back in here for another check-in. It's now been about an hour and a half, hour and 45 since I first applied the foundation, so it seemed like a good time to do another check-in. Overall, I think it still looks really, really good. It's settling in a little bit on like my smile lines, places where pretty much foundations always settle, so I'm not too worried about it. It's nothing that just, you know, I couldn't quickly fix with a beauty blender, but it's not settling into my pores. There's no spots that seem patchy. There's no spots where it's wearing away, and it's still wearing really well with all my other makeup. So I'm gonna keep doing check-ins throughout the day to see if that changes over time, and I'll see you guys back here in a couple hours. Okay, it has now been about 11 and a half hours since I first applied the foundation, so this is going to be my final check-in for the day. Overall, it's still looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and look close up so I can give you guys a better take on it. There are a few spots where it's kind of wearing out here on my chin. I think that is, you know, to be expected after the song, but also I'm pretty sure I was like resting my hand there, so that's probably a little more my fault than the foundation's. It has worn off a little more on my nose and a little bit here on my cheeks, but it's worn off very gradually. You know how some foundations, when they wear off, it's like you can see this line? It's not that way at all. It's very, very natural looking, so I really don't think it's a big deal. Again, it hasn't settled in anywhere at all, which I think is a big plus, and my skin still looks really dewy and glowy. I feel like you can still see my blush, you can still see the highlight, all my other makeup is still in place. So that's like one of the reasons I love this foundation so much and put it in my 2016 favorites. I think it is really, really worth the money, especially if you are looking for a medium coverage foundation that's buildable and has a nice natural dewy finish. I just think that this is a really, really great one to try out. If you guys liked this video and you want to keep seeing more Foundation Fridays, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you've used this foundation, please leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Or if you think you might pick it up, let me know. I'm just really curious when we use the same products, what you guys think of them.